Hey, tubies, it's Psychic Bob, also known as Lord Ision, my Wiccan title. So good to see you guys. My hat's falling apart here. How you like my witch hat? It's Wiccan Wednesday. Welcome to our channel. How are you, Lamb Chop? Yeah, all right. What you got in your hand there? Oh, let me see. Oh, you got a little book. Oh, yes, I was looking for this book for today. Wiccan Wisdom. Well, that's great. You found it for me. Thank you. All right, well, we're going to talk about that in just a minute. All right, let me put that over here. Hey, Timmies, how are you guys doing? Lamb Chop and I are just hanging out. We've been in our witchy mood today. I've been looking for a little witch hat for Lamb Chop. We got to get him one, don't we? Yeah, we're going to find you one. Oh, my gosh, Lamb Chop, look, he said, there's Baroness Color Bobs. Hello, Baroness. Good to see you. She's our moderator tonight. Thank you, Baroness. There's Denise D is here. There's Stardust C. There's Lady Jane of the Earl Grey Tea Time. Oh my goodness. There's Stardust C is here. TGVG's here. Oh my gosh, we got a lot of people here. This is great to have you guys here. Welcome. Welcome to our show tonight. Well, I am so glad you're here. You know, it's Wednesday, and Wednesday we gather, we talk about magical things. I happen to be a Wiccan, and you know, I just love Wicca. I'm a Wiccan and a spiritualist. I know somebody's going to say, well, I thought you were a spiritualist. I'm both, actually. I'm Wiccan and I'm spiritualist. And we're just hanging out here. So good to have you guys here. Well, welcome. Welcome to our show tonight. Well, tonight, Psychic Bob is feeling a little under the weather. I've had a kind of a long day. So I haven't had time to set up our painting. And also, we're not going to do our painting tonight. I thought we'd have a little Wicca Q&A, a little chat. I thought I'd show you a few interesting things. Yeah, and Lamb Chop found this little book. We're going to talk about some magical Wiccan books tonight. So just hang in there. Lamb Chop, you want to go over there and sit down? All right, by the way, I still haven't found that 300 pounds. Where is it? You're not, you better talk. By the end of the show, I need to know. All right. All right, go over there. Just relax. Oh, my goodness gracious. And if y'all haven't been here the last few days, we've been having some drama. Lamb Chop stole Baroness's wallet and stole 300 British pounds from her. Oh, I'm very worried, you know. Anyways, we're going to get that money back. Baroness, don't worry. We're going to get your money back, you know. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. Anyways, as I said, I'm a little tired today. Feeling just a little out of it, but thank you for being here. By the way, I'm wearing my witch hat, and today I'm wearing my astrology pendant. You know, I'm crazy about astrology. If you guys weren't here on Monday, back on Monday, we put up an astrology video. I gave the astrology forecast for this week and all the zodiac, the horoscope. So if you haven't seen that, definitely go check that out. It's a big zodiac wheel, like our big wheel back here, but in a pendant form. And you know, the witches of old loved astrology. And, you know, a lot of times I think I'm a bit of an astrology witch because I do a lot of magic with the planets and the stars. I'm a big believer in astrology. I've been into astrology since 1978, a long time. Well, I'm so glad you guys are here. Baroness says, I'm out of it too. I've been on the baklava. Yeah, she ate baklava. I ate some Italian cookies earlier. Oh my God, they were good, but I got like sugar overload. Have y'all seen the Italian Christmas cookies? Well, I was walking through my supermarket this afternoon and they had a big box. When I was a kid, my mom used to bring them home at this time of year. I guess I have a little nostalgia, a little homesickness. And I saw them like, oh, I have to get those. I was with Baroness. I said, I got to get those. Mom got those every time at this time of year. So I bought myself a big box of Italian Christmas cookies. You know what they look like? They're like really fancy. They're thick and they're like sugar cookies. And they've got frosting and sprinkles on them. They're really delish. Some of them have jam on them. Oh my God, they're so good. Anyways, oh my gosh, I can't see the chat. Hold on, let me put my glasses on. Stardust says, say second, Bob, I'm tired. Busy day at work today. Yeah, I understand. Denise D says, no food talk. I can't eat. Oh, I'm sorry, Denise. Just relax. You could have a milkshake, Denise. Maybe that would be good for you. That's kind of gentle on the teeth and on the stomach, A soft vanilla milkshake. That would be lovely. Denise D says, I grew up eating those, Bob. So the Italian cookies. Yeah. Cola, don't you tell on me. Cola says, yeah, then he stuffed his face last night with a Snickers bar. I kept turning my head and he kept hiding the chocolate. I don't know what she's talking about. I didn't even know chocolate. I don't have any witnesses. All right. She gave me away. I did. I snuck in a chocolate bar last. I shouldn't because I'm on a diet, but I did anyways. I'm allowed a little indulgence, right? Just a little. Well, I'm so glad you guys are here tonight. We got a lot going on. It's Yule season. And, I thought we'd just talk for a few minutes about a traditional Yule ritual. Some of you are Wiccan. I hope a lot of people here are Wiccan, or at least interested in Wicca. And I bought a book a few months ago, The Gardnerian Book of Shadows. This is the original Book of Shadows put out by Gerald Gardner. Back in the 1950s, the Wiccan covens, there was only kind of one type of Wicca, which was Gardnerian. Ever since then, we've had expansions and split-offs in different groups. Now we have eclectic Wicca, but when we alter old school, study the Gardnerian stuff. That's actually quite good. I enjoy it. And I thought I'd read to you a ritual. It's their winter solstice ritual. Now, next week, the 21st, Yule. We're going to talk more about Yule in the next week as well. But I thought today, just to kind of start our minds down that way, I'd talk a little bit about a traditional Wiccan ritual. I just thought I'd read to you. It's just a short little passage, but I think it's kind of neat. So this is from the 1950, what we use it, 50, 40. This was written in the early 50s. So anyway, from 1948 up to 1959. So this is in the 50s. It's called the winter solstice. And I thought, just try to visualize this as we're talking and just kind of get a feel for the ritual, Hold on, I got to drink some tea. By the way, I'm going to sip some tea to revitalize myself. Baroness says, actually, it's not Yule until 20th through the 22nd. That's true, but, I'm giving people a little advance notice to start thinking about Yule, So I know we're a little early, but sometimes people will say, you know what, I'm glad you read that ritual early. It gives me time to plan it. So if you're somebody even thinking, I want to learn a little magic, do some kind of traditional, this might be an option for you. All right. And if you work with a group of people, that's even better. All right. But if you're solitary, you can take these rituals and adapt it in some way just for yourself. So Wicca is one of these religions that requires creativity. Hey, there's Robin Boston. Hey, Robin, good to see you. Robin, I'm reading from tonight the Gardnerian Book of Shadows, and I'm reading about a traditional 1950s Yule ritual because next week is going to be Yule. We're going to do more stuff on Yule, but I thought it'd be just neat to hear how the old school used to do Yule. So this is from the 1950s. All right, you guys ready? So this is by Gerald Gardner. This is his Wiccan Yule ritual. Robin says, I made it. Yay, glad you're a cool book. Yeah, this is a cool book. I recommend this. This used to at one time be a top secret book only shared among Gardnerians. But these days, there really are very few Yeah. There are very few secrets in Wicca. Excuse me, I'm having some interference here. All right. I'm going to try to get through this, guys. The winter solstice. All right. This is by Gerald Gardner. Form circle in usual manner, invoking the mighty ones. That means the ancient gods. The cauldron of Caradwyn is placed in the circle at the south, wreathed in holly, ivy, and mistletoe, with fire lighted within it. There should be no other light except for the candles on the altar and about the circle. After all are purified, that's when they bless you with incense, smoke, and water. After all are purified, the moon should be drawn down. That's where we do the invocation of the goddess calls down the moon mother and channels her. Then the high priestess stands behind the cauldron in pentacle position, symbolizing the rebirth of the sun. Now let's just pause there. The pentacle position is when you stand with your legs apart and your arms up. So you're like a human star. That's what so it visualizes the cauldron is at the circle. It's got flames in it. And then the priestess, high priestess, stands behind it in the pentacle position. Okay, you got that? I'm trying to get the visual for this for you. Okay. All right. So the priestess stands behind the cauldron in the pentacle position, symbolizing the rebirth of the sun. See, that's what Yule's about, the rebirth of the sun. The people, men and women, alternately stand around the circle. The magus, that's the high priest, called the magus. The magus stands facing the high priestess with a bundle of torches or candles and the book of words of the incantation. So basically, the priest stands there facing the priestess. He has either torches or candles in his hand. And I think the book of incantation is like a book of shadows. Okay, the magic book. One of the officers stands beside him with a lighted candle so that he may have light to read by. The people begin to slowly move around the circle sunwise, which is clockwise. As each passes him, the magus lights his candle or torch from the fire in the cauldron, which may be simply a candle, till all have lighted candles or torches. So the priest and the priestess are in front of the cauldron, and then the priest lights a candle and he gives it the circle around. The priest stands in the middle and the circle revolves, and he hands a lighted candle. You guys see this? Can you visualize this? I think this is beautiful. Then the people dance around slowly as he reads the incantation. A real fire must now be kindled in the cauldron. And then here's the incantation. Queen of the moon, queen of the sun, queen of the heavens, queen of the stars, queen of the waters, queen of the earth, who ordained to us the child of promise. It is the great mother who gives birth to him. He is the Lord of life who is born again. Darkness and tears are set behind, and the star of guidance comes up early. Golden sun of hill and mountain, illumine the land, illumine the world, illumine the seas, illumine the rivers. Grief be laid, and joy be raised. Blessed be the great mother, without beginning, without ending, to everlasting, to eternity. Io Evohe, blessed be. Io Evohe is an ancient pagan chant to invoke the gods. The dance commences slowly in rhythm with the chant, all taking over the call, Io blessed be. The priestess joins the dance and leads them with a quicker rhythm. The cauldron, burning with fire, is pushed so that the dancers leap or step over it in couples. Whichever couple is passing it as it goes out should be well purified, 3 times each, and may pay an amusing forfeit as the high priestess may ordain. Sometimes the cauldron is relighted several times for this purpose. So basically, they're dancing around the fire, they leap over the cauldron, and then if the fire goes out, it's a sign they need extra blessings. So that's how the ritual goes. And then they just dance until the fire dies down. Very interesting ritual. I think it's really beautiful, very simple, but very, very lovely, and I think very celebratory. So that is how the Gardnerian Wiccans celebrated Yule back in the day. Isn't that interesting? I think it's pretty fascinating. What do you guys think? You like that? That tea is doing wonders for my body and soul. Anyways, I'm just glad you're here. Speaking of Wiccan books, I collect Wiccan literature. I have so many books of mine, it's unreal. But this is one of my treasure ones, the Gardnerian Book of Shadows. And for those of you who are members of the Order of the Silver Star, the Wiccan Order, maybe we'll explore trying this ritual this year. Maybe we can do this. Something to think about. Okay. Robin says, I like that. Yeah, well, we may try to do that ritual, or at least some of it, through our order. So we'll explore that. Anyways, speaking of Wiccan books and treasures, one of the things that you occasionally find in Wicca is that for a while there was you don't see it as much, but a few years ago there was a real push to create miniature books. And Liam Chop today brought us one of these books. I love this little book. I bought this book a few months ago as well. It's an older book from the 1990s or early 2000s. But there was a time when they started making these little miniature books on Wicca. I think they're lovely. I thought I'd show you some of my miniature books today. So this is a little book called Wiccan Wisdom. It's just tiny. It's like 3 inches by 4 inches. But it's funny because even though it's a tiny book, it is chock full of wisdom. It's kind of hard to read. I have to read it with a magnifying glass because the print is so small. But I'm telling you, it is like full of information. Here's sections on the elements. There's the element of fire. It's a beautifully printed and designed book. Here's a spell called the Dreaming Cup where you use a chalice and herbs. I just think it's really beautiful. Here's a picture. Remember we're talking about drawing down the moon? There's a priestess doing a drawing down the moon. Isn't that beautiful? See her with her arms raised, calling down the goddess. I just think it's lovely. Here's another picture. I think this is a high priest. You see with his staff watching. I think this might be Yule. I don't know, but this might be like, in Yule we do a morning sunrise ritual. A lot of covens do. They get up and watch the sunrise. It's the rebirth of the Sun Lord. Isn't that beautiful? But this is just one of my little Wiccan books. And as I said, there was a time when publishers were into printing little tiny Wiccan books. And I always say, if you see one of these at a yard sale or a used bookstore, buy it because they become really treasured items, I think. I have a bunch of little miniature books I thought I'd show you here. Here's another book. Some of you guys may remember this from way back in the 1990s. Charmed. Do you remember the TV show Charmed? How do you like that? Isn't that cool? This is a book of spells that were actually used in the TV show. It's a little magical spell book. And they've taken snippets of the chants used in the TV show and put it into a little spell book for people to try spells. Here's one. To call a witch doctor to cleanse evil spirits from your house. Isn't that great? Here's a spell to invoke the muses and to make muses visible for inspiration and creativity. Here's a section on magical objects. This is Melinda Warren's Blessing Cup, how to use that and create it. But I think these are kind of neat little miniature magic books. And with Yule coming and Christmas, if you can find these would make great little stocking stuffers for your, if you're for yourself or for a favorite Wiccan. What a nice little treat that'd be to open. This was one of my stocking stuffers. One of my friends gave many years ago. And I loved it. It was in my little stocking. She gave me a little stocking. They had little magical things in it. Isn't that great? Stardust C says, hey, Psychic Bob, I love the Charm Show. My favorite. Yeah. Charmed the original. Great Charmed, the revised. No. Yeah, this is the original Charmed with the original cast. I'm not so much a fan of the new Charmed. I watch it, but I still think the first one was better. Now, I also have another collection. And these are just two of my little miniature books. This is a set here that I'm going to show you. I bought these many years ago. In fact, let me show it to you, the complete set. I have an entire library of little miniature spell books. These were put out by the Witch's Brew. It's called Witch's Brew, which is a Wiccan publisher that used to do miniature spell books. But these are really now quite collector items. I didn't pay much for them. Back when I bought them, this was $12.95. This very book today goes for like $50 because it's no longer in print. It's a collector's piece. But this is a series. As I told you, I bought the whole library. I bought it piece by piece because it's expensive. But over the years, I bought them all. And this is called The Witch's Brew of Good Spells for Creativity. And it's like hand-done paper. I don't know if you know what I'm saying. Like the paper is all crinkly. It's done like hand-done paper. And it's got beautiful artworks and very witchy artworks. And it has a little satin ribbon built into the spine so you can bind the book up when you're done to keep it safe. So you just tie a little ribbon, around it. Hold on, if I can do this. I'm not very coordinated. Well, anyways, I can't do this right now. But basically, you tie a little ribbon, tie a little bow, and it keeps the book sealed. And then when you want to read it, you undo the ribbon, and you open it up, and it's a magical tome. See the beautiful artworks in it? All sort of herbal lores and magical rituals. If you find any of these books, the Witch's Brew series, buy it because, one, they don't print it anymore. I don't even think publishers take the time to make good quality books. This is really thick. I don't know if you can see it here, but it's padded. It's like a thick padded cover. It's really solid. I hope you guys can see that. It says Witch's Brew, Good Spells for Creativity. And that's the end of it. Let's see. They're made to look old. These actually are old. Now, they're probably for like 30 years, close to 30 years old. I think this is in the early 90s this came out. I can't see in my glass. It's so faded out, but I think this is from the 1990s, this book. So isn't that cool? Now, look, I've got a whole collection because I got the whole library. So this is the Book of Spells, Witch's Brew, Good Spells for Creativity. This one is called Witch's Brew, Good Spells for Healing. See, it's done in a blue cover. Has magical symbols throughout. It's really beautiful. The artworks in this are spectacular. Very magical, very witchy. So that's the Good Spells for Healing. Here's one. This one I actually have bound still. This is the Witch's Brew, Good Spells for Peace of Mind. It's done a beautiful purple cover. And you see I've got it tied. So we can untie that and open that up. Oh, by the way, I forgot to show you the end papers. The end caps of these books are just beautifully done. Let me show you the end caps for the others. So the blue cover book, the healing one, this is the healing book. So it's got a snake and blue herbs. And then the orange one, the creative spells. Beautiful. There's a lamp of inspiration and some herbal imagery. So as you can see, they're really quite spectacular books, little miniature books. This is a wonderful book. This is called the Book of Spells for Good Friends, How to Increase Your Friendships. And it has chapters in there about drawing friendship into your life. You know, look at that. Isn't that beautiful artwork? Sue Valenta says, is it Gardnerian? No, this is not Gardnerian, but I did read from Gardnerian earlier. You may have to go back and rewatch the video after a post. I read from this earlier, the Yule Ritual for the Guard. This is my Gardnerian Book of Shadows. But tonight I'm showing mostly just miniature books. So these are just miniature Wiccan books that are magical, that are tiny little books that I've had for a long time. Sue, I think you sent me a beautiful herbal magical book like year or two ago. I have that book. I was trying to find that to show tonight, but I've put it in storage because I boxed up a lot of my stuff as I'm renovating my house. So I don't have that book, but Sue sent me a beautiful book from England, and it's an herbal book. I wish I had that here. I'm going to show that another week, Sue, when I get it unboxed, okay? Here's a wonderful book, the Book of Prosperity. This is money magic spell. We could all use a little money magic in our lives. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? It's got a royal crown. Again, more herbal magics. I think these books are great. I'm so glad I bought them when I did. You know, sometimes you just have a sense you should buy something. This is one of those times where I thought, well, it's a lot of money for these books. But I'm glad I bought because I treasure them and they're no longer in print. So if you got a set of these, you're pretty lucky, you know, because they're worth a lot of money. Each book's about $50 now. I only paid like $12 or $13 for it, but now they're worth a lot more. And so I think I got the full library. I don't think I'm missing any. There should be 5 books in the series, and here they are, all 5 books. So I'm dropping them. But that's one of the fun things about the craft is that, you know, a lot of times little magical books are printed. And if you have an opportunity to get them, you really should, you know, you really should. So I got those along with this. Lamb Chop brought us Wiccan Wisdom. It's a little miniature book. And the Charmed Book of Spells. And I actually have a few other miniature. Oh, you know what? I think I know. Hold on a second, guys. I want to see. I've got an even smaller book. If it's where I think it is. If I don't have it, I'll show you next week. But let me just go check real quick because I think I have another book to show you. Hold on just a sec. All right, well, sorry guys, no luck. I did move. I think that book went into storage as well. I have so many books. I've had to box some of them and put them in storage so I can get my area of my house renovated. But anyways, I have another book. It's literally this big. I bought it from a seller on Etsy, and it's filled. It's miniature, but it has actual spells in it, and it's about that thick and about that size. So if I can find that, I've just put it up in a safe place. I'll show that to you next week, but if I can find it. But anyways, you know, Baroness, you know where I put that? But I've shown it to Baroness before. Where did I move that book, Cola? Anyways, if she can find it for me, that's great. I'll find it. If I can't find it tonight, we'll have it next week for you. But, you know, I just thought you guys would enjoy, hearing a little bit, excuse me, a little bit about Yule and, looking at books and thinking of stocking stuffers. Yeah. I know it's in my temple room, but I think I've put it inside a box that is in a storage area. So anyways, I don't have it now, but I'll find it. It's really a great miniature book. So you see, there is Cole. I took apart that bookcase that it was in. That's why it's not there. Anyways, that's all right. We'll find it another time. But I just love to hear from you guys today. Maybe you have some Wiccan questions you want to ask, or maybe you have a special magical miniature book that you want to tell us about. It's always great. So, Wiccan Wednesday, it's kind of a gather with each other and have fun and talk about magical things. And if you don't know anything about Wicca, you're like, gee, I don't know anything about this stuff. Well, just listen in, because there's a lot of people here who do practice Wicca and magic. You might learn something, By the way, I'm wearing my witch hat. Do you guys know the meaning of the witch hat? I've talked about here before, but some of you may not know. The witch hat actually is an old magical tradition. And what it represents is the cone of power. When a coven gathers, they raise power and they project it out into the universe. They call it the cone of power. That's why witches wear a pointed hat. And the brim around the hat represents the circle, the gathering of the witches in the sacred circle. So it's the circle and then the projection of the cone of power. That's the meaning behind the witch hat. I bet some of you didn't know that, but now you do. Oops, hold on. Where'd my glasses go? Did I leave them? No, I can't find my glasses. Somehow I moved my glasses now. It's going to be one of these days, guys, where everything's a little off for me. I'll try to read the chat anyways. Lady Jane of the Earl Grey Treasure says, me and Cola had the same mini Merlin book. Wow, that's cool. I have to see that. Oh, here's my glasses. Oh, that's really cool. I'd love to see that. Baroness said, oh, we did. I lost that, Oh, I know there's nothing worse than losing a favorite book, a lot of the young people today read everything on their phone or on readers. I guess that's okay, but I'm just telling you, I'm old-fashioned. I don't think I'll ever give up my love for books. I find it very magical to have these items with imagery, and you can feel and smell. They smell like incense because I had them stored near incense. They smell lovely. To me, books are magical, I had one time I was on YouTube and I was showing a book, and somebody wrote me it was a vegan person. And they said, I'm an evil person, that my religion is worthless. Like, you support the killing of trees. You're supposed to be a Wiccan and you collect these books. And they just tore me apart over it. And I just said, well, in life, sometimes there's sacrifice. You see? And that's just how it is. Lady Jane says, I prefer a book, me. I do. Baroness says, yep, me too. Yeah, Lady Jane gets it. She said it's a process, feeling, smelling, turning the pages. Can't quite imitate. I don't get the same magical feeling when I try to do a book of shadows on an electronic device. See, welcome. Laura says, yes, I love reading an actual book. You get it. I do think it's probably my generation, because I grew up before we had all these electronics. And so I just started reading books and I love them, Lady Bree, hey, Lady Bree, good to see you. Says, I've gotten back to reading and I've been reading real books. Yay. There's Sue Valenta. Sue says, I am a devout book lover. I know, Sue, I've got to find that book that you sent me. It is in stores. My problem is I'm trying to thin out all my stuff. I've got too much stuff. But Sue sent me a beautiful book. Sue, do you remember the book you sent me? It was from England. It's a beautiful hardbound book, and it's got gold impression on it, and it's about herbs and magic. And the first half of the book, you read it like you go this way, like a regular book, and it's all herbs. And then you get to a point and the text flips upside down. And when you flip the book over, you get to read it from the back. And then it's a whole second. It's like 2 books bound in one with reverse covers. It's a really cool book, you know. Thank you. Thank you, Stars. I got my glasses. Baroness says, Bob's, you can never have too many books. Well, I like to think of it this way. It's true you might feel like you can't have too many books, but I always say it's better to have the right books than the wrong books. Sometimes we buy books on a whim, but they're just kind of junk books. I'm trying to get rid of stuff that's not really truly a spiritual focused book, you know. Sue, you remember the wonderful book you said? Yes, Bob, it was from Troy Book Publishers. And I love that book, Sue, but I just can't get to it today because it's under a stack of boxes in my closet that I've moved stuff into because I'm trying to box stuff up while I clear out an area in my house. I love that book, Sue. That was a nice gift. Stardust, he says, I agree, Kolowebs. You can't have enough of books. That's true. Scott from South Carolina has an interesting voice. He says, ever see the Johnny Depp movie, The Seven Gates? He was tracking down old spell books. Oh, I never saw that, but that sounds good. I like Johnny Depp, and I like anything mystical. I bet I'd like that, Scott. I'm going to look that up. Thank you. I haven't seen that. Baroness knows the film. She said, love that film. Lady Jane seems to know that film. She said, oh, was that what I was watching, Scott? All right. Sue Valenta says that publisher, the Troy Book Publishers, prints a medieval psalter for spellwork. Oh, that's interesting. I have to explore that. I love that book you sent me, Sue. That's one of my treasure pieces. That's why I have it boxed up, because I was worried it would get damaged during my renovation. Anyways, so I always enjoy talking about magical items and books, and maybe next week I'll do more on the Book of Shadows, because I have a massive Book of Shadows I have to talk to you guys about. Oh, wait, no, next Wednesday. Oh, we're going to have a special Wiccan Wednesday next Wednesday. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I totally forgot. You want to be shocked. Next week, y'all will be shocked. Baroness, won't they be shocked when they see next Wiccan Wednesday show? I'm not going to give away what the show's going to be, but I'll tell you, you'll never see a show like we're going to have next week. Up till now, you never seen one. And next week is going to be an amazing, and I do mean amazing, an amazing broadcast. Okay. Lady Bree says, I think the film is called The Ninth Gate. Okay, well, it's either the 7 Gates or the Ninth Gate. I'll look them up both. Yeah, Baroness has her hand. Look at Baroness's in the chat. All those hands. She said, yay, don't miss it. Yeah, next Wiccan Wednesday. I'm not going to give anything away. We're not going to tell you anything. But I will tell you that next Wiccan Wednesday, you're going to see a show and go, oh my God, that is an amazing, wow program. It's going to make y'all's jaws drop. I've been planning it for a few weeks now, and it's going to be an amazing show. A lot of planning went into next week's show. But I'm telling you, you're in for a treat. You know, you're in for a treat. That's all I'll say. Okay, you're in for a treat. Now, I'm not giving anything away. Next week and Wednesday is going to be pretty freaky. Pretty, not freaky. What's the word? Just dramatic. It'll be a dramatic show. That's all I'll say. So anyways, how are you guys tonight? Anybody doing any magic? You know, it's the full moon. Hold on, where's my astrology guide? Is it tomorrow's the full moon or tonight? I think it's tonight the full moon. I got to check my Astrology. All right. So through the 12, 18. Did we already have it? We're in waning. I can't keep it straight right now. I've got so much going on. I haven't been able to keep up with all my astrology like I do. By the way, today is Wednesday the 14th. And for those of you who weren't at Monday, just a little insight. The moon has moved over into Virgo this evening, and the moon is trine Venus. Today is a day you want to focus on loving yourself, self-nurturing, healing magic, giving yourself some treats. Take a nice luxurious bath, put on your favorite clothing, eat your favorite foods. Think about giving yourself nurturing love. It's the last quarter moon, in Virgo tonight. It's not full moon. I'm confused. That was last week. But anyways. Hi, Evelyn. Good to see you. Evelyn says, I'm getting ready for celebrating the 12th night. In Germany, we call it the Ronecht. Ronecht. I don't know if I'm saying that correct, Evelyn, but I'm trying. Ronecht. I think Ronecht. I'm doing the best I can. That's great. Yeah, it's interesting because the Christmas traditions all over the world and the Yule traditions many times overlap. A lot of the Christians, no offense to the Christians, but a lot of them pilfered it from the pagans, and that's just the truth. Sue Valenta says, meteor shower tonight. Is it tonight? I've got to look that up in my astrology stuff. I'd heard one was coming. I didn't realize it was tonight. Cool. Well, whenever you see a meteor shower, it's a wonderful time to make wishes and send energy out in the world because it's an extra boost with that power. Oh, supermoon on the 22nd for Yule. Very cool. Well, I'm looking forward to that, Stardust says, okay, PsychicBob, looking forward to next week's Wiccan Wednesday. Once in a while, I just like to do something so radically different to shock everybody and to entertain. So all I will say is next Wiccan Wednesday, we'll have a very, very cool show. Very magical. Very cool. That's all I'm going to say. All right. Evelyn says, lots of smudging, slowing down, lying cards, and connecting with the spirit world. It starts on 12/24 and lasts 12 days. There we go. Isn't that where that song, The 12 Days of Christmas, come from? On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me partridge in a pear tree. Yeah, it's Blue Moon Month. Yeah, that's right. I call it's a Blue Moon Month. That's right. Because we just had a blue moon. We'll have another. We're going to have 2 moons. Blue moon is when you have the second full moon in a month. Lady Jane says, right on the solstice portal. There's a lot of magical energies this month, aren't there? You've got the solstice. You've got the moon, blue moon. It's just a lot of power, A lot of prayers are going up, I think it's great. Sue Valenta says, Shakespeare, 12th night. That's right. I forgot about that. Good old Shakespeare. Yeah, 12th night. So, anyways, it's so fun to hang out with you guys. And it's neat to talk about magical things. Where else in the world can you gather and talk about this stuff? That's right. The next moon is in Capricorn and Aquarius. That's magical, isn't it, Baroness? So there you go. Anybody have any questions? Any Wiccan questions? Anything you want to ask? Wicca, the religion, the magic. It's all good. Well, anyways, I'm just glad you guys joined us tonight. And Psychic Bob's a little tired. It's been a lot going on today. I've been going all day between readings and taking care of chores and just trying to get everything done, get people on the schedule. By the way, if you're calling for a reading, I am a little backlogged. I will get to you. Right now, we're probably not going to be able to get you on the schedule till after Christmas. Okay. And, just be patient. We will get you on, but it's a heavy season right now for Psychic Bob. So everybody's buying Christmas gift readings for friends. By the way, that's a wonderful gift. If you want to buy somebody something, you can get them a Psychic Bob reading as a gift. Now, again, I won't be able to read for them till after the Christmas holidays at this point because I'm backlogged. But you could at least get them on the schedule, give them something special, So that's good. Anyways. Well, also I was going to tell you that, if you're interested in Wicca, I want to just say something because somebody wrote me a letter a few weeks ago. And they said, Dear Psychic Bob, I want to be Wiccan, but I don't have a coven. I don't have time to join a coven. The one coven I looked at, they said had all these requirements. I didn't want to be part of it. Can I still be Wiccan? And the answer is absolutely yes. You don't have to be in a coven to be Wiccan. There are many of us that are called solitary practitioners, which means we practice the craft on our own. Hold on, I want to get a book to show you here. If you are interested in practicing the craft, all that is required is that you take the time to learn. Give yourself a year, and over that year, you study books, you practice rituals, you learn the flow of the wheel of the year. And after a year, then you can do a self-initiation and initiate yourself. This is one of my favorite books. I still read. I've been reading it for over 20 years. Wicca, A Guide for the Solitary Practitioner. This is by Scott Cunningham. I'm not being endorsed by Llewellyn. It's published by Llewellyn Publishers. You always know Llewellyn because they put a little moon on the edge of their books. Wonderful book. This got me started on Wicca. Now, of course, I told you today I belong to a coven, but interesting, our coven is spread all over the world and we meet virtually via Zoom. Right now, we are not open. I know a lot of people say, I want to join your coven. Right now, my coven is a closed coven, so we're not taking membership yet. Maybe next year we'll look at adding some new members, but for right now, it's a closed coven. But don't let that stop you from pursuing Wicca, because I think the best Wiccans start on their own and really learn it. And then when they come to a coven, they can really contribute even more. So don't not practice Wicca because you can't find a coven, okay? Evelyn says, are you still offering the yearly forecast per writing? I think it was $80. I'm not doing a yearly forecast. What I'm doing, I have what's called a compact voice reading. And that is if people want to ask 3 questions. And I do an audio reading for them. Or I also do an astrology forecast for $80. I do your chart, and then I do an audio analysis of your chart. So that's a compact astrology voice reading. So I either do a compact voice reading is psychic questions, and then there's compact astrology reading, which is my interpretation of your astrology chart. Okay. Yeah, Sue Valenta says, I love that book. The new edition does not have the original Robin Wood illustration. I know this is one of the newer ones. It doesn't have the old pictures. I have one of the old Robin Wood ones here. Yeah, the old copies. You can find old copies from the 80s and 90s of this. Really great book. But the text itself is still the same, thank God. But the artwork has changed. I agree. Now, that book is followed on by another book. The second book, you have to read this one first. And then if you like that, this is called Living Wicca, a further guide for the solitary practitioner. So this is a twin pack. This is the first version you should read, and then if you like that, get this copy. But they're kind of a set, okay? I would tell you, anybody wants to study Wicca, read everything you can. Here's another book I love, The Illustrated Guide to Wicca. It's by Tony and Eileen Grist. Really beautiful book. It gives you a lot of visuals and how to do things. See, they're in the ritual robes, setting altars. It's a really great book. So you don't have to say, well, I can't join a coven, so I won't be Wiccan. That's the mistake I made many years ago. Back in the 80s, I first heard about Wicca. But the only books back then were from the 60s, 50s, and 60s, the Gardnerian stuff. And in every Gardnerian book I picked, I said, you must be initiated into a coven. I didn't know any covens in my area. This is in the days before internet, and you just couldn't network like that. There was no metaphysical stores near me or anything. So I just gave up on Wicca. And it wasn't until like 10 years later that I discovered that one could do Wicca on their own. And I never even thought about this or even knew about it. So Scott Cunningham gave me a doorway to explore the craft and its wonders and mysteries. So anyways, don't let not being in a coven stop you is what I'm saying. Become a witch on your own. Wicca has a long tradition of solitaries. And just because you're a solitary doesn't mean you're less than a coven-initiated witch. Scott Cunningham says in here, coven initiations are great, but who initiated the first witch? And the answer is the first witch was initiated by the gods. And you as a solitary can interface with the gods and receive your initiation through direct communion with the gods. You don't have to have another person initiate you. If you like that and you got a coven, you're enjoying, that is awesome. But I'd hate for somebody to say, like I did, I went 10 years before I discovered Wicca again, and I didn't, have the chance to be part of it because I thought, oh, there's no coven, so I can't be a Wiccan. And that was a mistake. And if I'd known about Scott Cunningham, I think I would have been much further along. But that being said, everything in divine order and divine timing. So. Evelyn says, oh, yes, astrology. Yes, I do compact voice readings for astrology charts. Right now, I still have a backlog on those too. It'll probably be not till after Christmas. I've got so much going on. It's funny, this year it's just been booming with everybody wanting readings, which I'm thankful for. So if you're sitting there and say, well, I want to get on Bob's schedule, I'll just wait. Well, go ahead and contact me because it's going to take a while till I can get to you. And if you wait, it may be even further out. So, I'd love to do readings, get you on the schedule, and do readings for all of you. So, yes, I'm going to be working through the holidays. A lot of people are like, are you going to just not do anything? I will do stuff, but I'm already booked up a lot. So for new people, I may have to wait till after Christmas and the New Year time. Okay. But anyways, the world of Psychic Bob is still going on. I'm still doing readings. I'm still running the coven. I'm still doing astrology. I'm still collecting magical books and charms. Nothing changes. I still hang out with Fletcher, my spirit guide. So I would love to have you guys be part of my world. Listen, if you're new here and you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe. We'd love to have you be here. I put out a video 7 days a week. Pretty much once in a while, I'll take a day off. That's very rare. So if you're new here, like you said, well, what do you do at this channel? Well, we have a new spiritual topic every day. So on Mondays, we have kind of a routine. Mondays, we do astrology. Okay. So on Monday, I give out horoscopes. I'm an astrologer, and I put together the forecast for the next week for everybody. So everybody, all 12 zodiac signs get an astrology forecast. We do that on Monday evenings at 7 p.m. On Tuesday, I do live psychic readings at noontime, Eastern time. Do a show called Messages from the Spirit World. That's on Tuesday at 12 o'clock noon. Pretty much every day except for Tuesdays, we broadcast at 7 p.m. live shows. On Wednesday, which we are today, we do Wiccan Wednesday. We talk about magical stuff and Wiccan stuff. On Thursday, we do, oh my God, I'm blanking out. Cola, what's Thursday? I'm just drawing a blank. Oh my gosh. Is Thursday? Wait. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Oh, Thursday's the seance. That's right. I am drawing a blank. I'm tired today. So tomorrow night, 7 p.m., we're going to do a live trance channeling. All right. Thursday is the seance. That's right. So on Thursday, I do a spiritualist seance every Thursday at 7 p.m. And we actually gather and have an invocation. And I do trance work and I channel messages from those who come through me. We've had some pretty interesting experiences. Some people's relatives have channeled through me recently. We channeled through Doris Stokes, Edgar Casey. I have a bunch of other guides. Some other people's family and relatives have come through me. It's always interesting. So Thursday's our seance night. Friday night, I do live psychic readings. Again, at 7 p.m., pretty much every night at 7 p.m. I take your live questions. I do live psychic readings. On Saturday, I'll do either live tarot readings, tarot cards, or last week we did crystal ball readings. If you didn't see that, go check that out. Last Saturday's video. We might do crystal ball readings again this next Saturday. We'll see. And then on Sunday, we do live psychic readings again at 7. So 7 days a week, there's something here at Spirit Channel. And it's all free, So I hope you'll come and join us and watch and be part of it, Sue Valenta says, LOL, just saying the word Thursday puts you in trance for a second. Thursday. Yeah, I think I was blank. I was going into trance. I was like zoning. That's right. Baroness Colabot says, when will you be running your next coven? You mean the next coven meeting? Cola, I'll send out a note to the coven. Right now, there's so much going on. I may have to delay our coven meeting, but we'll see. It was supposed to be next week, but next Thursday is our special event. I think it's next. Wait, 1, 2. Yeah, we do the fourth Thursday, and so the 22nd is a special event. We may have to move the coven meeting till Friday the 23rd. I'll send out a note for those of you in the coven. I'm going to talk to Baroness tonight, and then we'll send out a note what we're going to do because we have a special event we actually booked because Wednesday the 21st is Yule. And then Thursday's the special event. Normally that would have been the coven meeting, but it was the only day available that I had available. So the coven meeting may be on that Friday, or we may push it to the next Thursday. We're going to have to talk about Cola. Let's talk about it, and then we'll send out a message to the order, okay? For those of you in the order of the Silver Star, we'll get a message out to you, okay? So, yes, so the private Yule event is on the 22nd. We've already filled that event. Invoices will be sent out in the next few days to those of you that got in on that. We had a bigger draw of people than we had spaces for. It's limited to 10 people for that event. So if you applied, didn't get in this time, don't be upset. We put the names in the hat and drew them because we had so many come in at the same time. It was hard to say, well, did that person apply first or that? And I didn't want to play favorites or make anybody. So we just did it random, draw. That's how we had to do it this time. So we had a lot of people apply. So, yeah, I will send out invoices. We'll give you guys notice in the next few days on that. So we got a lot going on here at Spirit Channel. There's always something to do. Also to mention, on Saturdays, we have psychic development class. This Saturday, I'm teaching a psychic development class on how to channel messages from the star people, from those who live on other worlds. Because the people on other planets are very psychically advanced and can communicate with us. So we're going to explore what that means, how it works, and how to open up a connection with them. So that's going to be on Saturday. If you're interested in joining the Saturday class, this Saturday, it's going to be at 12 o'clock noon till 2 p.m. It's a 2-hour class. You can register for the Saturday class at my website. go to PsychicBob.com and register over there. Okay, it's $30. That class is a small class, limited to only 30 people. So you get a lot of one-on-one time with Psychic Bob. I work with each person personally on psychic development during that period. So you will get to talk to me, work out your questions, work on some exercises. I will teach you different techniques to do different psychic skills. And people have been coming that say it really helps them. So if you're interested in Saturday's class, that you can register at my website. Just go to the website, PsychicBob.com. And there's a tab up there. It says services. And you click on it, scroll down through the whole page, read through it, and it'll tell you about the class. It's only $30 you can pay for it at the website. Love to have you guys join us. So as you see, we got something going on here all the time. And I really enjoy having all of you here. So I hope that you'll keep it here. And anyways, it's dinner time for me. I think I'm going to have a little break now. I'm a little tired. I'm going to have some dinner and then Netflix and chill tonight with Baroness. But I hope you guys have had fun. It's been fun coming here to talk about Wiccan things and show you my miniature books and answer your questions. So thank you for being here. Again, if you're in the Coven, in the Order of the Silver Star, I'll send out an announcement in the next few days, and we'll sort out the Coven meeting for next week, okay? Sorry, it's just I got so much going on. Everything's a little topsy-turvy. I haven't forgotten you guys, I promise, okay? All right, guys, listen. Thank you for being here. You guys are the best. I hope that you're having a wonderful night. And as we say in the craft, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. The circle is open, yet never unbroken. May you always blessed be. Thank you, Baroness, for your service tonight. Thank you to all of you for coming. Psychic Bob loves you. Have a good night. We'll see you soon. Blessings to you. Good night.